Hello makers, welcome 3D Maker Noob. Hello makers, welcome 3D
Okay. Good evening. Let's see how delayed this is from what I'm talking to what I see on the screen. Looks to be about 40 seconds. Let's look at the chat buffer. First, yes you are. All right. How is everyone tonight? This is the first one, by the way. Just popped it open. The background noise you're hearing, because that microphone tends to pick up everything, is the printer in operation. And I will share with you the two things I found that were, actually there were three, that were halting me from getting this thing printing last night. And here you can see it did one print already. I did a calibration cube, and I did a good job with that. It's a little slightly over extruded on one corner, so I'm still fine tuning this profile. You may also notice it's doing a retraction test, and it looks like I got to make a few minor changes there. We're seeing some stringies there, but this is pretty much the default Bondtech profile that they provided. It does it goes across 9 points, so 3 horizontal, 3 on the X and Y axis 3 and 3 when it does its bed mesh. And on the back side here, this is what got me in trouble. This is where we had issues. So what you're looking at is focus on where the stepper motor on the top of it, where it's bolted into place. And the previous owner of this machine had cranked down the bed springs all the way to the bottom. So what was happening was when I was trying to get the nozzle to go down and work on getting the bed level, because the bed was already so low, what was happening was that angular piece you're seeing was making contact with that stepper motor mount. So that thunking we were hearing was not the nozzle crashing. It was the edge of the gantry making contact with the stepper motor mount. The solution for this was to basically release and get the bed raised by turning the knob and letting that spring expand. And that was one of the big issues. Once I did that, I also had to go through, there's another thing that I did. This is something I do in a lot of my printers. I guess I can share here too, is because we all have these things kicking all over the place here. I've got the old CD cases, and what I do is when I'm in front of the printer, basically I'll make sure that the gantry is, I'll manually raise this and make sure that both of these guys are sitting, the gantry sitting on top of these. And that's how I make sure that those are level. Once I had done that, then I manually brought right till the nozzle was touching, and then basically I went through each corner and I brought the bed as high as I could. The filament is Matte Forge Advanced Matte PLA. I don't do eSun. The cheapest filament I'll print with is Ziltech PLA. That one I've had good luck with. So that was issue number one. Issue number two was inside the control box, as I expected. And I opened up the other CR-10S that has the Bondtech DDS, and I did have the wiring correct. Now, I didn't make any changes to any of the wiring, but one thing I did on that printer that I didn't do on this one is I didn't take the hot glue gun and drop a few drops on the connectors, because I think what happened is after everything was put together and then, of course, you flip this thing back upside down, I think gravity got it and possibly lifted the contact. So that's all good now that I've glued those guys down. I hate messing with hot glue. It's not my favorite thing, but in this case, it worked out well. And I mentioned there was a third issue. I'm trying to remember what that was. Let's see, we got the bed sorted out. The BL Touch was fine. Once we adjusted the connectors and oh, I'm sorry, the connectors, there was an issue. There's a block of 4. Actually, I can pull it up on the screen. I want to say I still have this saved, so I can display it. Let's go to. Yes, let's blow this up here. Let's go to my second monitor. So the issue that I had is when I had plugged this in, for some reason I put it across here when it should have gone here. But all the pinouts were correct. So I was plugged in the wrong thing. So I don't know how I did that, but this is what happens when you do live streams at night, right? And start building things. So after that, I followed along with 3D Maker Noob's Z offset. I have all the instructions written down, but for some reason I just enjoyed his soothing voice. And he goes through it very quickly. I think it's like a 7-minute video, step by step, and that's pretty much it. It's been, like I said, it's on its second print right now. The print surface, the Wham Bam, is really, I have no complaint. It's really quite good. The one thing with matte forged filament, I should have grabbed Ziltech. Matte forged is always a little fussy for me, but this is one of the few filaments I have that really likes to be can't speak tonight, printed at a warmer temperature. Most of my PLAs are, the Ultimaker prints them at 210, the Ziltech 200 is perfect. I'm trying to think, the other one that I have there, Hatchbox, is generally 205. This stuff likes to be on the hotter side, 210 or 215. And I noticed when I was doing my first layers at 200, you know how you're expecting that nice smooth first layer, and instead you're getting like very significant lines. So I knew I wasn't over or under extruding, but it didn't look like I was doing a very good job at melting the material. So since then, it looks like, since I upped the temperature on this guy, it looks like it's doing pretty good. You can see in the background there that, the little stringies are flying around. But that's where I'm at. I said I was going to fix this with you guys, but I knew doing this, I was going to be moving around a lot. It would be difficult to move the cameras, and frankly, I was anxious to find out what in the hell I could have possibly missed. I thought for sure this would be printing last night. But, and then I went through, I can move over my other camera here. I've got my lovely little Brother label maker here. This thing is just one of my favorite things. I bought this recently, and I've got the tape that you can print in a very small font, which is great. But I find that when I have a printer apart, one of the first things I do is I go through and I start labeling everything on the wires, so that if I have to pull the motherboard, it just saves so much time. And that's what I've been doing with the FT stick. I also made a label for this one because I've got to the point where I have so many printers and I have so many simplified 3D profiles that it's nice to know that this is the Bondtech CR-10S 2. I have the Bondtech CR-10 in the corner, and then I have an easy ABL CR-10, and so that's how I try to keep track of all the different names of my printers over here. But yeah, so we've gone a little bit label crazy, but label makers have come way down in price. I think this thing was like 30 bucks, and it does a really nice job. Wow, and there goes the furnace. That furnace only runs when I'm running cameras. Ziltech is good stuff, yes. I've had their rainbow filament, and I got it, well, in the background here you can see a whole wall full of their stuff. I'm trying to think which of theirs is probably my favorite. They've got some metallic colored ones that are okay. I don't know, nothing Ziltech has really blown me away. I haven't tried their carbon fiber. I'm not a huge fan of the carbon fiber 3D printing. Carbon fiber, you think additional strength, but they're so chopped up so fine that you really don't gain any strength on them. But if you're looking for a matte finish, that's a nice effect. It's just, I know the carbon fiber that I've used, you literally have to wear gloves. You want to run the air purifier. You want to vent where you can, because if you read the safety data sheet on it, it can be dangerous. Blue metallic, yeah. Well, we got 4 viewers. See, this is what happens. If I start these later at night, I get more of my West Coast friends, but I'm probably going to go call it a night around 11 here, so I didn't want to stay up too late, and because, you know, it's a work night. Oh, have you used the Ziltech? Well, let's take a look at it. We got a print that has a while to go. Oh, the cats are chasing each other up there. Let's pull up the Ziltech website. Let's see. Let's see what they got. Nope, I keep on kicking cameras. Sorry. Okay, 10%. Yeah, well, my code will save you 15. I do see that they have they have their own printer, which I believe is the exact same thing as a Big Tree. So I think it just has their name on it. Let's see. I think they call theirs specialty filament, as I recall. TP. Okay, let's go with only in stock. That'll bring the. Everyone's still having trouble maintaining inventory with all the COVID stuff. Do I have red silk? No, I have red PETG. Marble, I haven't used theirs, although I have 3 boxes of filament that showed up this week that I need to do reviews on. I have a company called eNotepad sent me some of their black filament they want me to try out. That showed up. And Irion, the same people that made the Thinker, what did they send? They sent Ultra Silk Gold, which will be really fun because honestly, if I'm going to print something gold, but I have all kinds of C3PO stuff that I would certainly love to see. This is their regular gold, and it definitely has a nice hue to it. I mean, you can definitely see the layer lines. I mean, I just printed this in draft settings. I just wanted to see how it would look. Actually, I reduced this to 70%, so the full size would be a little bit bigger. For a while, I had this on top of the cat scratching post so they could rub their own damn chins. So, Ultra Silk is definitely going to be something fun to try C3PO parts on. Let's see, you mentioned they're out of a lot right now. Yeah, you know what, the other thing I bought is their big giant rollers, but unless you have their big giant filament, you know, the 1 kilogram spools won't do anything. They get a shipping container. Yeah, I figured like a lot of these resellers, most of their stuff comes straight out of China. Let's look at their webpage here again. Yeah, TPU, I haven't had any need to, I mean, I have Cheetah. But I got the gunmetal silver. Print's okay. Hips. Okay, well, if I only look at what's in stock, I'm not going to see a whole bunch of stuff, am I? Okay. The composites are nice. Galaxy glitter looks interesting. I just received their cosmic glitter, and that was kind of cool. Yeah, the rollers are interesting. I have, how many did I buy? I was under the impression that would solve all my problems for spool holders, and unless you have something very heavy on them, your filament's going to fall off of it. Yeah, this is the stuff I bought and I've been printing a lot of, Cosmic Sparkle. It's basically clear PLA with sparkles in it. It's not bad. I don't have white silk. The silk PLAs, you know, these are kind of interesting. I can't put my finger on exactly what the term is I would call for these, but they print very smooth, very little layer lines. But any place you have overhangs, what's the worst way I can say it? It's very ropey. So And especially when you use that material and support material, or use that material as support material too, it's very gummy. So it's an interesting composite. TPU. Where's carbon fiber? I thought you were under specialty. Hips. I don't have any dual nozzle printers where I could use hips. I know. What have I got? 11 printers and no dual nozzles. What's wrong with me? Carbon fiber. Here's their stuff. It's out of stock. They also have a wood PLA. Have you used their wood? Yeah, you may have hit on that. I'm really glad you said that. I had to print a lot of the layer bonding sucks. Yeah, I did notice, and you may have noticed on the video I put out, I did have to print it warmer. And do I have any of those prints kicking around? I have so many test prints, I wind up throwing stuff out. I don't see any stuff right next. I've been doing a lot of printing with the Arion printers. They've been sending me stuff, asking me to do videos on them, and I do enjoy doing that. So no, I don't see it here. So here's their carbon fiber. Now I'm curious if we recommend a hardened nozzle, stainless steel. See, I've used a hardened nozzle in the past. I use a stainless steel nozzle, and I gotta tell you, that ruby nozzle is a lot of money, but I would highly recommend to people that ruby nozzle will spoil you. Once you install one of those ruby nozzles, you'll just leave it in there as long as possible. Because I had a hard time nailing down the temperature when I had the stainless steel or hardened steel nozzle. I want to say at one point I did a PID auto tune. And I just found that anything I was printing, I had to raise by like 8 degrees Celsius because I was just losing temperature that fast. Alright, so what are people saying about it? Oh, they don't show the reviews by default. Second row. I'm curious if they have... only because I do this for a living there. I'm curious they don't have like a material safety data sheet or something like that on this. Let's take a look at the wood filament real quick. Because you said you use this. A finer grind, yeah. See, that's just it. I mean, the whole benefit of carbon fiber is the weave. I mean, we see that with the tape. We have carbon fiber tape machines at work, and they crisscross and do their thing. So I think grinding up and chewing up and filament, you're really not going to get, oh, wood plus stainable? So what's the difference between wood and wood plus stainable? Do they include something? Ziltech PLA wood contains 12% wood fiber. See, up here in Maine, we have a lot of wood, obviously it's a heavily forested state, and we, at work, we have a lot of materials. We have some folks that work at the center that have done a lot of research about wood cellulose, and we make our own wood PLA. That's interesting. 9 reviews. Strings. Yeah, that's the thing with wood PLA. Stringy, can be stringy. The only thing I have for, let me go back to me here. I've used the polywood, which it's an imitation wood filament, and I didn't realize this until I was looking that ColorFab has a foaming PLA, but that's what the polywood is. It's a foaming material. And it's interesting stuff. Let's look at Printed Solid real quick. I go to them a lot because they're close. Alright, and I'm trying to remember what a ruby nozzle goes for these days. Let's see, that's going to be the Olson. Olsen Ruby. I want to say they're under $100, right? Yeah, 90. Yeah, I have one of these at work for my Ultimaker S5s. ColorFab has a PACF low warp. Wow. So I am assuming, so this is the high output, so I assume this is the bigger one for example, a Volcano. Oh, okay, here we go, size. Oops, I did not mean to click that. Yep, I know what the box looks like. You know, I had the Uncle Jesse PLA, I had some orange one, and the one thing, yeah, I know they make it in-house there, they name it, named after the shop dog. The only problem I have with it is, boy, does it have a smell to it. You come down to the shop here, and you know, when the FT6 was using it, and it definitely has an odor to it. Oh, what was that? Hey, a subscriber. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Did you notice the smell as well too? I mean, it's yeah, 0.4, 0.6. I mean, it's not atrocious. It's not a terrible thing, and it's probably not bad for you. Although you wait, someday, 20 years in the future, you'll be sitting in front of the television and you'll be seeing those commercials saying, did you have 3D printers? Did you print with this material? Are you having lung issues? Call the law offices of. But yeah. Yeah, it was a gross smell. I mean, it's... Some of these materials have kind of like a popcorn popping kind of smell. So let me look at the ruby nozzle here again, because looks like they're hard to get in 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I know Andrews personally, so I'm very happy to support his endeavor. This is the ones that I have. That's his own. Oh, he makes his own brass nozzles. Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what some of the ones I printed that had a pretty funky smell. You know, it's interesting. Years ago, there was a filament that had like a coffee smell to it or something. And I think they went out of business. I was never able to find them again. That's interesting. So the other one that I'm curious your opinion on this one here. Let me pull up their website here. Because I bought a bunch of their samples, and I hate to be that guy, but I really wasn't impressed with it. Okay, let me alright, let me put on the second monitor and see what you think. This stuff, the protopasta. Oh, there is a, okay, that'd be fun. I'll have to try that filament out. I've printed a bunch of their samples. They're matte, they're various matte. Let me make sure I find there by feature. By finish. There we go, matte. Yeah, I've printed a lot of their stuff, and it does have a nice little fuzzy finish, but I can't think of a lot of materials where I'm thinking, boy, I really need a fuzzy finish. I mean, I'm going to make fun of the G-Tech again, so be prepared. But this stuff clogged that thing solid. I did like their HTPLA orange. It did have a nice, look to it. But if you use this stuff, I mean, if you like layer lines, you're going to get it. Yeah, I haven't done the sample boxes. I've thought about that, but I mean, I got so much stuff. My email lately for the channel has been blowing up. I've got this vendor, that vendor. Hi, we want to make you an affiliate. Hi, we want you to do a review, and some of them I just laugh at, and some of them I just say, well, if you're offering the material for free or for a deep discount, yeah, maybe I can. Yeah, this stuff is expensive, $39.99. Hello, Caleb. Ooh, we got 6 viewers. Hello. Yeah, the discount, that's a good idea. Hey, 15% is 15%, you know? And I know we had a discount code with TH3D for their Easy ABL, and that expired. And I reached out to him to say, hey, by the way, this is expired again. Can you renew it? And I never got a reply, so I don't know. They're an interesting organization. I like their videos. They have some good information on all the various live streams they do on various printers, but yeah, I can't put my finger on exactly what my thoughts are on them. What do we have for shiny? Oh, our statistics? Oh, I couldn't. Yeah. Jeez, I wouldn't even know. Let me take a look here. What does I think we're less than 1% again. Let me look at the analytics. I haven't done a lot of videos lately, so my analytics are telling me that I suck. For a while there, we were averaging, 1,000 views a day and 10 subscribers a day, but let's take a look. Let me show you the fine metrics if you want to see how our YouTube channel works here. Fusion filaments? Okay, we'll check that next. All right, so to answer Caleb's question, let's check out the wonderful statistics. Easy for me to say. My channel. Okay, so it looks like we're on the uptick, 652. And then, nope, we're 100% men again. The women are statistically negligible. Oh, made in Wisconsin? Ah. But the advertisers love this. We're 25 to 34, 32%. And this is interesting. It's telling me the best time to post videos is 6 p.m. You know what? Some of these metrics are kind of fun. Oh, okay. So we're still over 6,000 subscribers. That's cool. But yeah, I mean, you can see, the views are up nominally, the watch time. Because I released a video that was very short, this is where I get clobbered. And there are a lot of guys that really obsess over this stuff, and I don't. I just make videos when I feel like it. I got a couple of videos that are done and I'm just sitting on them. I'll just release them when I think it's appropriate. But what's the most valuable thing about this, though, is with this vidIQ, search engine optimization. This will tell you what the big keywords are for your videos. So if you have a YouTube channel and you want to show up on top on the search, this is a great tool for something like that. So, all right, so I won't bore you with the world of YouTube video producing. Half my viewers identify as female. Well, they are Google. So, maybe I should break down and get a, why is it saying from $6? Oh, for a sampler. So, yeah, some of these have a really cool, color to them. But, for example, Caleb, we print, robots and stuff like that, and I can't see where any of these materials or colors would be useful for, BB-8 or D0 or R2-D2 or Stormtrooper stuff or Darth Vader. Oh, and by the way, while I'm thinking of it, someone posted that there's an Etsy store for files to print your own Darth Vader mask, and someone posted a picture of their Darth Vader, helmet, and the thing looked phenomenal. So I don't know if they're to scale. It's pretty darn. Protopasta is artisanal. Okay, what's that word mean? Are you indicating that material is more for the artistic types and architects and stuff like that? people that don't print robots. You had said to test out fusion. The other one that my coworkers like is they like push plastic a lot. Okay, let's take a look at what you sent me here. The craft brewer filament. Okay. So since I don't like hoppy, their filament is hoppy. Okay, I gotcha. See, you give me stuff like a, an oatmeal stout or, what have you. I'm good. Not so crazy about the pilsners and what have you. I mean, this one's a Belgian. What I'm consuming tonight is a wheat beer, which is it's okay. When I went to the store, it was either American stuff, which was frankly crap, or some really hoppy stuff, or this. So I opted for this. So what do they got here? Home samples, filaments, smooth filament. Yes. What do you got? High performance PLA. Refill spools, standard spools. Okay. You like it a lot? Okay. Well, let's take a look at your stuff. I like the price, $29 for 1 kilogram. So HTPLA plus. I wonder what that means. Ooh, that's an interesting purple. Nope, another beep. Well, Caleb, let's look at purple because you should buy that because we know Danny likes purple. Porters and stout. You know what? I'd have a beer with you. Okay. Wow, this print's hot. 220, that's pretty slow. And who prints at 100 millimeters a second? See, I don't like going faster than 50. Where is their NatureWorks 3D 870 resin? I wonder if they have an MSDS or engineering filament? PET. Okay, so this is like a copolyester. Carbon rod black. So what's in this thing? So it wants to be an all metal. So PET. Yay! Yeah, someday when we're allowed to all be together again. Do they have any? I'd like to find out what they have for a material data sheet on this thing. Let's go standard. PLA. That looks like an R2D2 blue, don't you think? Yeah, tends to be hotter than most other brands. Okay. Okay, please don't. This is pure 404 3D without additives or fillers. Therefore, it prints a little different than typical PLAs. Tuning might be required. Okay. But can you tell me about your material? Is there anywhere here that tells me about the material? This resin performance advance. Proton pink. Danny likes the purple. Yeah, good call. So what I'm looking for, and maybe it's the nerd in me, see, for example, when I go to filaments, oh, let's look at Jesse, for example. Yep. I don't know why they do the whole zigzags here, but Army green. Okay, let's go with that. Yeah, 3D 870. But I thought even these guys... See, this is what I'm looking for. These are the things I look at. This is what a nerd I am. So... it's a biopolymer I can use with thermoform coating. Okay, so it comes from NatureWorks. No hazards. So it won't burn until 388. Okay, that's good. See, these are the things I like to see when I'm checking out a new filament, if I have all the information. Because now that I do this as my livelihood at work, I need to have these things on file just in case. For my own use, I don't need that stuff, but I'm still curious. They say the 3D 870, but I don't know. Okay, well, here's the strength of it. Okay, so mounts 410, that's like there's right there, 210, yeah. 3D printing temperature, 190 to 230. Oh, did I see that right? This can be annealed? Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, it's an HTPLA, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was curious about. Ha! Fun. Okay. Hey, that's me. Hi. Let's see. So, to those who are new to the party and wondering what's going on with the printer that they saw under construction yesterday, let me give you the brief recap. So, one of the first things I want to show you is the back of the printer. Remember when I was trying to I was trying to auto home the Z and we heard a thunking sound? It was not the nozzle planting itself in the bed. It was, I don't know how to show it to you outside with the video you're seeing here, but behind the coupler, there's a horizontal piece. That's where the stepper motor is attached to the frame. And what was happening is at the top of your screen, you see that curve, which is the mount for the gantry. What was happening, the bed they had tightened the springs so much that they brought the bed as low as it could go. So what was happening was when this thing tried to auto home, it was trying to bring the nozzle down, and the frame couldn't go as low as a nozzle. So that corner collided with the stepper mounter block. Wow, where did I make that word up from? Stepper motor mount. Really, I can talk. So that was one of the first things that went kaboom. And then inside the control box, I compared to the other control box, and I had everything right on the wiring, but the one issue that I had, do I still have this open on my screen? I think I put it away. I can pop it back open though. Pop. And let me go back to my second monitor. So what happened is we have these blocks right here where we're supposed to go across. And for whatever stupid reason, maybe it was the beer, maybe it was because I was late, maybe it's because I was tired, I put it here instead of here. So I've since corrected that. The other issue, I believe, was we were seeing a blinking red light, and I think the reason for that is that these, the plug that goes in here doesn't have a clip. So I think once the control box was flipped upside down, it lost contact with that. It was still in there, but it wasn't making great contact. So the hot glue gun came out, and I gooped all over this, and I gooped all over this. And since then, things have been happy. And as you can probably tell from my little test print here, the retractions need to be tuned a little bit here. You can probably see the little wisp over there. The magnetic bed, the Wham Bam, has worked extremely well. I'm very happy with that. And after I tune this profile a little bit, I think I'll increase the retraction distance by another meter. Well, that'll solve my problems. Millimeter or two. So this printer will be able to be relocated and put next to the other one, and then it's a matter of choosing which printer to unbox next. And I will show you on the website here what our choices are. We have I hit caps lock. There we go. Okay, second monitor. This is the next printer we have. And I did not pay this. But this is the Anycubic Chiron. I don't know how you want to say that. Has a touch screen. It'd be the first printer I've had that has any kind of touch screen like that. The specs on this guy is 400 by 400 by 450. And I've watched a bunch of videos. I'm part of the support group, and some people love these things, some people hate them. So it's going to be interesting. They also have their own little BL Touch kind of thing. This has a magnet, and you literally attach this, you plug it into the top, and it runs a special G code, and it does its own little grid. It tells you to take the thing off, and then off you go. Hey, Jesse, you made it back. So, like a lot of these printers, I don't know if this is going to be amazing or if this is going to be one of those printers that's going to be a tremendous hassle to make work properly. Some guys have gotten some that work great, and some people have immediately upgraded them to quieter drivers. There's a lot of discussion in their group about getting rid of the 4988s and putting 2208s in there. So that may be an upgrade I do. Now, and again, I mentioned this last night, so if you weren't here last night, so here's how I got the Anycubic Chiron. Got an email from one of their sales reps saying, hey, I saw your review or your first thoughts on the Area Thinker. I have a printer that's bigger. You should check out one of our printers. We'll give you a great deal on them. I went to their website, out of stock. I went to Amazon, out of stock. So they messaged back and said, we may have one for you. So then they emailed in the following day and said we had a return to our Amazon store, and we will send that to you, and you can have it for $100, and if it needs any parts, any support, we'll cover you. So how do you turn down for $100 a 400 by 400 by 450 printer? So, but here's the thing, I haven't opened the box, so I don't know if I'm getting someone else's nightmare. I don't know if someone ordered this and their wife found out and made them send it back. So we might have a terrible adventure ahead, or it might be the best deal ever. So we shall see. Yeah, it's got the 4988 drivers. Yeah. The other printer that's sitting over here is, let me pull that up right quick. And you'll say, deja vu, looks just like the printer sitting behind you. And it is. This is the Thinker S. The only difference between what's sitting behind me and this printer is they have a magnetic stainless steel bed. And the price difference, I think, is $70. The difference between the drivers, well, what you're hearing in the background right now on the Creality, these are probably 4988 drivers. The FT6, pretty much everything I have in here is running those stock drivers, which are noisy, for lack of a better word. And the Thinker SE behind me is running the 2208s. And those are much more efficient and very quiet drivers. The only thing you hear when that printer is running is the fan. It's crazy. It's awesome. I have behind me have, let me move the camera over here a bit so you can get a better look. I've bought a bunch of these lately so I could upgrade some of these printers, but and I want to say this guy, if I remember correctly, this is the BTR. This is the SKR 1.4 Turbo, and what this has installed. This is just the. I gotta solder that to the cooling fan. But these are the 2208 drivers for X, Y, Z. And the extruder, my friend suggested using the 8729. Apparently it's stronger. Oh, hello. I beeped. I'm sorry. So yeah, this is using Marlin 2.0. It has, you know, the firmware is right there. And then away you go. And but that's yeah, that's the gist of it. And then I got this adapter plate, which will go on the FT6. But essentially, this is a 32-bit controller board with your G codes and everything that we're printing now. 32-bit makes no difference than 8-bit. However, being able to use those quieter drivers is huge, especially if you have to live in the same building as where the printer is located. So anyway, I've got 3 sets of these guys for the various printers I have. This is for the FT6. I have another one for the FT5. I haven't given up on it yet. Yeah, I would like to do a live build video on that one because actually, oh, that just finished up, and that's, yeah, that needs some retraction tweaking. So the only 32-bit printer I have at the moment is the Ariron. Actually, technically, the other one is sitting in a box, so I have 2. So I got that. What did I do for the TiVo? The TiVo, I have an MKS Gen L board in, but I have 22. I'm wrong. What I just showed you, those are 2209 drivers. They're newer and they're more power efficient, less thermal load. The previous generation, it was 2208. And they require a good deal of cooling to get the results, which is what the Thinker has. So the Ariron Thinkers have 2208s. I put 2208s in the TiVo Tornado. I have to have my electrician friend check on that. I want to make sure I have that thing completely grounded before I mess with that anymore, because that has a Bondtech DDS is going to go on that. So yeah, there's that. So there's always something going on over here. It's just, for me, I need to stay on track and make sure I stay with it. Let me show you the print. Dun, dun, dun. And as you can see, we got some strings. Maybe if I get rid of that blaring light. It's the beauty of having your own little YouTube studio here. You have all these little, there we go. There's a better angle for you. So I'll add a millimeter to the retraction distance and do another print tomorrow, and we'll see how good that goes. We'll let the bed cool off a little bit, and then we'll do the wham bam thing, although I can do it right here. The wham just pops off that. Alright, this is a little annoying right in front of me. What I really need is my own building for all these printers and get my basement back. So what are you guys up to tonight? So that's so what are your thoughts? I will throw it out there to my audience of 9. Which of the printers look the most interesting for our next live assembly and build? The Ariron Thinker S, which is basically identical to what I already have. Oh, hello. What happened? Hey, another subscriber. That's cool. Thank you much. So this is another one. If you want to learn more, I think they assemble in 15 minutes. Mine took a little bit longer than that. What's really interesting is that the Facebook group for this is amazing. These guys came up with their latest version of the firmware. They came up with a BL touch mount. Literally, once I had mine unboxed, 3 nights later, I had the latest version of, of Marlin on it. I had a BL touch working. I'm usually not crazy about glass beds, but that printer's done a good job. The only issue I have is that this, I didn't think I was gonna like this external power supply, but hey, if you're running out of space on your desk and you want to be able to move stuff around, that's pretty sweet. This gantry, they have like these little markers on them, which is a nice indicator to find out if you're crooked or not. I know on mine, I've had to go in and loosen these guys up with the gantry supported and just kind of retighten everything, and since then it's been good. But yeah, it's got a small footprint, and the only other the only negative thing I have to say about this is it doesn't have eccentric nuts, so if you need to tighten anything up, you can't. So I'm hoping someone's going to come up with an upgrade kit that makes that happen. What are they selling for on Amazon at the moment? I don't want to go to Alibaba. No. Let's go to Amazon and see how much they're selling for over there. $4.69. Okay, they went down 10 bucks. Oh, look at that. They have a coupon. Save 20%. Do you convince your wife? Well, you have a pregnant wife, and I would tread carefully on that one. I don't have a good answer for you. Because on one hand, I'd like to see you upgrade your computer and gaming system for all of our DCS flying, but if you need to print stuff bigger than what your Prusa can do, that's not too bad either. Yeah, because you're doing ding 20%. Oh, I don't want, no, get out. I don't want to go buy another one. And then this one's the real mystery one, the Anycubic Chiron. I mean, this is bigger than a CR-10, which is 300 by 300 by 300. So either this thing is a complete steal, or like a lot of these very inexpensive printers, they can be a bit of a nightmare to tweak. What I see a lot of on the forums is people will buy these, and they're new to 3D printing and they don't have a lot of patience to begin with anyway, and it winds up being a very frustrating experience. And then I've seen there's some people in that group where they have 5 or 6 of these things and they've had no issues, and I know I'd never be that guy, but it would be fun. Oh, you're talking video cards? Yeah, I know. Yeah, you've already got a top-of-the-line card, so you're good. We're just waiting for better VR headsets. And that would be another fun live stream to do. I don't know how many guys watching the channel right now are interested in VR flying, but oh wow, we have a really good time with our VR headsets and DCS World. It's really quite something. Okay, the Thinker SE has the glass bed. The Thinker S has the stainless steel bed. That's the $50 difference. So, I don't know, and I'll find out when I unbox this printer how good that stainless steel bed, or how spring steel bed is. I keep on saying stainless, but it's spring steel. Now the other one, what did I do with this? I was sitting over there. This Wham Bam stuff's pretty darn cool too. So that's also another option. You save 50 bucks, and if you decide you want to use the Wham Bam solution, so there you go. Yeah. I try to make sure I also record them so that I can chop them up and use them in the next video. Let's let's back here up. Oops, if I unscrew that, let's get the Bam Bam off of here. And oh, it's so nice when that happens. Boy, that is super flat, and that's a bit of a mess. First layer could be a little tighter. I mean, it's super flat. Yeah, Wham Bam PX, and this stuff just comes right off. And then the fun part is getting this back on here without snapping your fingers. I find with these magnetic beds, it's very important to lift them up, line them up on the edges as best you can, because sometimes you have some clearance on either side of the printer, so you want to make sure that once you have one edge, then do the other. Oh, that would have pinched. Especially if you have a print that's going to take the entire bed size. And then we're only using PLA, so I'm not going to worry about using the rough up pad. But just out of a habit, whenever I remove stuff, I like to clean that bed with the rubbing alcohol. You know, I didn't think I was going to like these little prep pads, you know, like they use for cleaning you off before they give you an immunization or something, but I find that this works out really well. Versus having that giant bottle and trying to find a paper towel or stuff. Where are the cats? You know, it's a good question. Let me take a peek here. I don't see... Molly's not on her favorite perch. I think they're all upstairs. It's been kind of warm today, so I think they're probably sitting under the ceiling fan and enjoying every minute of it. Yeah, for a second print, that's pretty close. Yeah, I think I'm really close on the temperature. And the retraction, I'm not even close. But we'll work on that on the next print. All right, let's shut you down. Yes, you're right about that. I don't have, you know, I gotta be honest. The lab had a bunch of Prusas, and granted, I mean, they had them for quite some time, and I mean, they got a lot of heavy use, but I wasn't really super impressed with them. After reading all the reviews and how Tom's 3D loves them, and you know, the kits, I guess for what you pay for versus, you know, whether it's the kit or the assembled one, those printed parts, you know, I'd give them an okay. You know, I think some of the ones that we had, you know, the front piece there where it said Prusa and the knob and all that, it looked a little under extruded. And I'm sure, you know, when they mass produce them, they're just like, good enough, good enough. And of course, you have the STL, so you can print your own. But you know, what we paid for them, and then when you see what they look like all put together, there was a lot of nice things. I mean, it was nice that it had its auto bed leveling and you know, a lot of good support, but it wasn't as polished as I was expecting. I was impressed with all the videos I'd seen, and then when I saw the 4 that we had, I was like, I thought this would be a little bit better. It was really you know, if you had chewed up filament in the feeder, it was a real bear to get in and out of that thing. So maybe that's different. I just saw Tom's review on their Mini, and he had mentioned that, you know, it's real difficult to get at the extruder if you have to clean out the teeth and stuff like that. Yeah, we had the MK2s for sure. What's he got now? I mean, I'm a teeny tiny channel, so he would never offer me any kind of break. Prusa 3D. Well, like most colleges, though, and universities, we really want open source. That's a big appeal for our research. Because we want to learn what they do and then have the blueprints to experiment and go further. I3, huh? I don't have a resin printer yet, and I've had a lot of people email me and ask me how come I don't do resin. And it's just the smell and the chemicals. And I mean, quite frankly, I'm a little, I don't want to sound judgy, but I'm sure a lot of people just throw this stuff down the sink and they have no idea what kind of hazmat damage they're doing to themselves or their community. The only one that I was interested in getting was one of the, I thought it was maybe the Elegoo Mars Pro that could use the water rinsable resin. But again, the thing is, and you know, Caleb, you've been here, it's a small house, 3 cats, pet hair anywhere you, I mean, despite having air filters, air filtration and vacuuming twice a week, I have pet hair everywhere. It's probably in my beer. But so that's why I've steered clear of resin, unless I did that in my garage or something. But I think resin would be a gooey mess. What surprises me is that he hasn't gone to bigger size printers. Multi-material. We had one of these, and we had a lot of trouble with it. Yeah, I mean, you know, the Elegoo Mars and others are, you know, sub $500, and I mean, they're, as always, Caleb, there's a race to the bottom. Who can make them cheaper? Who can use the cheapest screens? And if you follow the Facebook groups, there's a lot of those people that they initially get good prints, and then all of a sudden it's time to replace a screen or this or that. I want to say a couple of the ones I had seen recently. Where do I click on the details here? I don't really want to buy anything, but I'd like to read some information on it. Here it is. 3 to 4 weeks. Oh, the XL is on the way? Okay. So yeah, I'm on the fence on resin, only because I'm not sure how I would do that here at the house. I don't print figurines or a lot of small things, but you know where a resin printer would be fantastic, especially surrounded by all these big printers, is when you're doing custom part cooling ducts and things like that. All those really tight angles that you can't get support material in there, obviously, and FDM has trouble with. I remember you telling me that you waited a long time. Oh, people asked. Here they are. Molly and Theodore have made their appearances. I can actually get that camera out of the way because I'm going to move that printer shortly. What are you doing, Theo? I speak to him as if he will answer me. Theodore, what are you doing? That cat has gotten huge on me. And as you can see over here, so this is the printer stack. So up on top there is the that's the Ariwan, and then below is the Chiron. So you guys will have to, in your own way, let me know what you think we should unbox next. Won't be tonight, but won't be tomorrow, because tomorrow I am out of here. But next week. That's what you need, Caleb. You don't need a 3D printer. You don't need another gaming system. You don't need another VR headset. You need a cat. You got dogs. Yeah. Anyone can have a dog. You need a cat. What are you doing down there? Do we have any idea how big the next Prusa printer is going to be? Since you have one, I imagine you get all the promotional teasers. I'm going to move that fan. It's hot down here. You're allergic. I'm still fascinated by this wood PLA. Who else has wood PLA? Hi, Alex. I'm sorry. I must have missed your question between Caleb's. The print material, if you're still in here, this is Wham Bam. That is their print system. And I will put it up on the other screen here for you, in case you're still in the building. And they have all their... This started off as a Kickstarter back in the day. But if you go to shop... Oh, they have their own little enclosures. I wonder if they're... Oh, and they have a little mat here for dealing with resin. Okay. So what's neat is they include the PEX build surface, the flexi plate, which is the spring steel, the magnetic base, and steel wolf. They recommend roughing up the surface between prints. And you have all kinds of options here. And in my case, for example, and they try to give you a clue as to this is the Lulzbot one, for example. For what I have, the CR-10, I want to say I was 310 by 310, so it was $86. Yeah. And they have over here where they tell you, what fits what. So 410. There you go. 310 by 310. So that's CR-10S, CR-X, artillery. So they have a good guide that lets you know. Hey, off Axis, how you doing? Drone pilot. Well, Caleb is a KC-135 pilot. I'm a private pilot, and I've had my private pilot license since 1992. I've thought about getting into drone stuff. I've been asked about it, and then someone told me what kind of money they make, and I was like, whoa. So that's definitely something I'd be interested in getting into. And if you're into VR, Caleb and I are big into that with what we do. And right now, I don't know if Alex is still on the channel, but Alex was asking about the print surface that is on top of this newly upgraded CR-10S. We have the Bondtech direct drive system. We added the BL Touch. The mount was provided by Bondtech. Just printed that out. They provided the firmware. So it's great. So if you decide to do this upgrade, I know everyone squawks at the price at $260, but in the course of an evening, with minimal 3D printing, just one mount, we had this CR-10 all apart and back together, and we have a very nice direct drive 3D printer out there now. And the print surface we went with was this is called the Wham Bam, and essentially the surface is PEX. And it looks like it's $86. So there's another idea for you, Caleb. So if you're just speaking theoretically here, so if there's a $50 difference between a printer having a glass bed or having a spring steel bed, maybe that's not such a bad deal. I bought 2 of these, so technically I could take the glass bed off of my Thinker SE and put Wham Bam on it, and boom. That's a good industry to get in. Film, yeah. Unfortunately, it's feast or famine in the film business, but from what my friends tell me, but yeah. That's a lot of car commercials. Drones and helicopters and everything else. Well, I feel bad I didn't have much of an agenda tonight. I had promised we were going to do another live stream tonight, and one of the things that's on my to-do list here is I was hoping to get a 4K camera, but I'm not seeing there's a big need for 4K. For YouTube stuff, especially since there's so much demand on the internet right now with COVID that I don't even think YouTube allows 4K streaming. But I think what I'd like to do is get a second DSLR for some of the videos we do. And rather than using the boom microphone where I always feel like I'm screaming, I mean, this microphone here is nice, but I'd like to get a lavalier mic. And I need to go read some reviews and see if they're rodeo go or is the way to go. All right, I gotta go check on them. I will be right back. We'll probably wrap this up here shortly, but I am gonna go to mute, let you guys chat, and be right back. I'm back. Oh, BB-8. Yeah, then I get the BB-8 frame over here too, and the cats have knocked his head off a couple times. Oh yeah, Caleb's been here. Yeah, it was about a year ago. No, it was a little bit later. A year ago at this time, I was actually in Rockford, Illinois, there at the Ingersoll plant, being trained on the, doing training for the world's largest 3D printer. So, which we now have. Oh, that's cool. So you're droid building too. Very cool. Well, I have a... did I throw them all away? Nope. We got Baby Yoda. I got about 4 of these. I'd like to glue one of these together and do a mold, and I'd like to see about using like smooth-on silicone, make a nice skin for them. And then among my stack of stuff is D0. We did a good job printing a lot of the pieces, and then Michael Badley came out with version 2, which basically made that version 1 is outdated. So I haven't had the heart to throw away all these pieces because, you know, a good deal of them printed out really, really nice. But off to recycling they'll probably go. But yeah, I want to do D0. I have that aluminum frame. Unfortunately, none of the drive systems really went. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, crap. Whatever. I don't have much of a studio tour to give unless I pick up and use the 922. Do-do-do. Okay, let's see. There's a dehumidifier, a fan. Let's see. They got 2 printers sitting there. Okay, so we'll do the fun. So the blue printer in the background, and what you're seeing here, that is foam. If you live up here in the north, part of insulating your house is from the joist, from where the foundation meets the house. They put foam on it, and they put a fireproof coating on there, and it does wonders for your heating bill. But what I need to do is, right now, I'd love to get a contractor frame these walls up. This is the YouTube studio. We've got the studio lights going here. You know, it's not super fancy, but when I was interested in doing YouTube, I watched a lot of videos, a lot of equipment. So there's one printer, and then in the corner we have the Filgertech i3, then the FT5. This is the FT6. You got the Ultimaker 2. That is the Ariron Thinker SE. Let's see. Going around here, we have all of our filament and BB-8 frame, several domes, Evil Cat, Stormtrooper leftover parts. Over there is the TiVo Tornado. There's my whiteboard. I cheat. I use that when I'm doing my videos. Let's see. We have two 55-inch TVs because I used to work at Sears, and one was new in a box. I couldn't say no to it. I really don't need them, but whatever. And then over there we have an enclosure that has my CR-10S. That is using a Titan Arrow. My full-time job, I work at the Advanced Structures and Composite Center. I am a 3D print lab manager. So 3D printing is kind of my livelihood. Just started that job a year ago after being in IT for 25 years. So well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I it's hard to say no to a bargain, you know. So a lot of these printers, I got discounts on the kits, and we did live streams when we were building them. So let's see, we have printers 1, 2 in boxes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I can't afford 12. And the big thing is, I mean, I have a great, if you've been shopping online for workbenches or whatever, it gets a little crazy. What I really want to do, now that I work in a laboratory environment, I really want to get these things inside their own enclosures. I want them to be either ACM or metal. I want to make sure they have ventilation. So what I would like to do is I like to have a ventilation system. Same thing you see that people do with, you know, their basement windows with dryers, you know, where it ducts outward. I want to be able to duct out. I also want to make sure that they are fireproof. I want to make sure they have fire extinguishers in them. So, yeah, exactly. See, we all go through that when you have all kind. I mean, I can tell you right now that for a lot of the smaller stuff, if I need to print reliable, it'll go straight on the Ultimaker 2 Plus. If I get to print something bigger, the Bondtech CR-10S is my next choice. Yep. After a while, when you have multiples like this, you have favorites. Yeah, Replicator 1. Yeah, those jam up a lot. I had one of my coworkers got one inexpensively, and he's like, "What should I do with it?" And it's like, put it in the trash. Proprietary. I think one of the printers I recommend the most to people is the CR-10S, and just because there's so much stuff that you can do. DCS is Digital Combat Simulator. I can throw that on my screen if you'd like to see that. And let's go to my second monitor, and there it is. You can download this for free. They include, I believe, the SU-25 and the TF-51. Nope, $signs, no such thing. You can download this and fly those airplanes for free. But if you want to download or fly into the specialized airplanes, which they call the modules, then that's where you spend some money. So, for example, if you want to fly, if you're doing World War II stuff, if you want to, buy these, then that's when you're starting to look at, $39. So we call these modules. Okay. So essentially, you pick and choose what you want to fly. Some of them are more expensive, $80 for example for the F-16. One of the other things you can get is, I don't remember what they charge for Flaming Cliffs, but that's a bundle of several airplanes. They're, I can't spell cliff. There we go. So Flaming Cliffs 3 will give you a bunch of airplanes. You'll get the MiG-29, MiG-29S, Su-27, Su-33. The thing is these aircraft don't have the interactive cockpit. So for example, with the other aircraft that you spend more money on, you are clicking and pushing buttons and throwing switches. It depends on what level of realism you want. I mean, if you want to feel like you're climbing in the jet and what have you, the interactive cockpit is where it's at. But yeah, I mean, we enjoy the hell out of the F-15. The other one, we fly the F-16 quite a bit. It recently came out. They still have a lot of bugs to fix with it, but we also, I know Caleb, for example, does the F-18 quite a bit. I really enjoy the Mirage 2000. Yeah, so there's. Now the catch is it depends on your computer system, of course. For example, we fly with our VR headsets. So that requires a beefier computer, a beefier graphics card, and of course, you know, an Oculus Rift or above, like that. But you don't need to use a VR headset. A lot of guys fly with their big screen monitor. You know, some of them run, whatever, whatever size monitor. There's also Track IR is something that I can't remember if they have the face tracking or if you still have to wear the hat and the reflectors, but essentially it's a sensor that as you move your head, it will change the view on the screen based on your head movement. It takes some getting used to, but it's pretty slick. We have one person that flies with us, and he has a great deal of difficulty with the VR headsets. Funny guy. He's the non-pilot, but if you listen to him, he sounds like he knows the most sometimes. But that's just the way this game is. You get so wrapped up into these aircraft. Caleb and I both fly the AV-8B, the Harrier. We have a lot of fun with this. It's a very versatile aircraft. You can carry a lot of stuff. Hello, John. We're talking about a little bit of everything. Sorry, I have the hat on because I'm very reflective. So to reduce the glare. Another one that's a lot of fun. I wonder if this will show up on, if I do a full screen, maybe it will. Tried to make sure I had my microphone off so we wouldn't get the dreaded echo from hell. There we go. But yeah. Yeah, 5's a lot of fun too. It doesn't have the modern Avion, the heads-up display and such. I have a real sweet spot for this aircraft right here, the Mirage 2000. Very versatile. All right, let's turn off airplane noises. CNC? Oh, I have. And I'm sitting lower because the cat rubbed her chin on my valve of my chair, so I gotta pull it back up. I feel like I should be calling this Evenings with Paul. This has been fun. Well, true, but what's nice about the DCS and the graphics is you have the ability to really tune down or tune up the settings based on the hardware you have. So depending on what your computer has for a graphics card, you can go to lower resolution and the game is still very flyable and a lot of fun. If you have a better video card, obviously you can crank on more details, more eye candy and such. I'm running mine on an overclocked GTX 1070, so that's a 3-year-old card, and it plays quite well even with a VR headset. Something beeped. Oh, there it is. Yeah. I've seen where people have the headsets on and they got the drone flying, and that's pretty damn cool. So a slight recap, if anyone joined in late and wondered, why aren't they talking about the printer? Printer is completed. We did the upgrade. The snafus I ran into last night were resolved. A couple of the issues were, first of all, the gantry wasn't level. The other thing was the previous owner of this machine had the springs, he had the as tight as could be. So basically that brought this bed as low as could be. So what happened was when this was trying to come down and touch the bed with the probe, it couldn't get there because the pieces of the gantry here were making contact with the stepper motor mounts. The solution to that was to release the pressure on these springs. So that brought the bed upwards. And now after making sure that everything was leveled mechanically, then we went through and we were able to make sure the probe works. We found the probe was plugged into the wrong plug on the board. I fixed that. And then I went through and did all the Z offset stuff. And it's been printing fine. We did some prints with Matte Forge, which is a challenging material. And as you can see, the Retraction Test has a little bit of work ahead. So I need to do some more prints. If I'm going to continue to use this material, I'd spend more time tuning in that the settings on that. I'll probably take this material out and put something else in. I don't use Matte Forge very often. I prefer color fab. And oh, that's my other camera. It's sitting on the floor. So if you tuned in and you're wondering what the hell we're talking about, we're just kind of kicking the can, sitting around, telling stories. What's up, Theo? So that's all I got, gentlemen. I am going to wrap this up. We didn't do a lot of printing or a lot of tweaking tonight, but did have a lot of good conversations. I feel like we made some new friends. And I won't be doing this again tomorrow night. I'll probably won't do another live stream until next week. I would love to hear from you guys and find out what you guys think we should open up for the next printer and get set up. Oh, you have an R2? Yeah, I have an R2 as well too. Can I pull up my Facebook page and show him off? I've had mine for 10 years. He's made of aluminum. And I'm at that point where I'm really tempted to overhaul them. Let's go here. Let's go there. So you can look on Facebook if you like, Paul's R2D2, and you'll find all kinds of fun pictures of my little buddy and all the events we've done. It's a real labor of love. That's a lot of aluminum right there. I'd say I've probably got about 10,000 bucks wrapped up in that little machine. And we've had fun doing a lot of events. This is at the Portland Symphony Orchestra. They had a Star Wars performance. And I let one of the gentlemen there wear my Stormtrooper suit. As you can see, he's a bigger guy, so we had a tough time getting that armor to fit him. But he felt like a 10-year-old kid again, so I don't think he cared. We even had our own little room. And then this is one of the... Oh, cool. There's a Star Wars night that one of the local baseball teams has, so we go there. We aren't there this year, unfortunately, but as you can see, you got a bunch of the costume characters. We got a great Darth Vader. My next door neighbor has a Stormtrooper suit, and he has a Shore Trooper suit, and he's working on a First Order suit now. So, yeah, we have a lot of fun. And there's yours truly and his little droid. But yeah, and my favorite thing of all is when we take them out and we do visits with, for example, the preschools. When the kids are littler than R2, it just takes your heart away. They're a lot of fun. As you can see, pictures galore of interact. This is where I have a nervous breakdown, is when all those kids crowd. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna tear them apart. It's like a NASCAR pit crew. I turn my back, and next thing I know, I'm down to a bare frame. But no. The thing I don't have a lot of pictures of due to HIPAA is we do a lot of pediatric visits. That's why he was. This is what I built him for. My godson died of brain cancer when he was 5 years old. So when I found this club, that was my big impetus to build an R2 so he could visit kids that were sick. And yeah, this lady was dressed up as Barf. Best costume ever. But yeah, that's the thing I'm most proud of, is that, you know, my R2 gets to be a frequent visitor at the pediatric floor. And you know, for those of you that have kids, you certainly understand, you know, when the kids are stuck in a hospital bed and bored stiff, you know, when they get a visitor like an R2D2, that means a lot to them. And I've been on that side of the fence. I remember sitting there and feeling bad that the kids were bored and what they would have done for a fun visitor, and now I get to be on the other side of the fence and provide that fun. Let me close out all these tabs. That data sheet. Fusion filaments, I want to bookmark that. I want to check them out. Spaceballs. How awesome is that? Kitty cats. Well, I got one sitting over here. What are you doing? You gonna come say hello? Of course not. I have the camera on. All right. since John is asking, let's go ahead and turn that camera on. There's one of them. He's the mischievous one. He's the one that gets into everything. But I got him not long after I got Molly, because Molly needed a friend, and these guys play non-stop. So if you're worried about my cats having a happy life, my God, they live large over here. Okay, well, gentlemen, I'm going to button this up. It's coming up to close to 11 o'clock. It's time for me to hit sack pretty soon here. Got to work in the morning, like I'm sure you guys do too. So, if you are subscribers to the channel already, please make sure you are. If you haven't given me a like on my Facebook page, We're Nerdy at School, please do so. This way you can keep track of what I'm doing. I've enjoyed meeting many of these new faces here tonight. Hi, Theo. Okay, well, let's aim for doing this again, say Monday night. And yeah, we'll figure out here. I'll chat with Caleb, see which printer he wants me to open up here. We'll leave it up to Caleb. How's that? So I wish everyone a good evening. I wish I didn't have to go. I'm enjoying the conversation, but I got to get up early, so you know how that goes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. And until next week, catch you later.